Hey, what's up, guys? So, this is trial one of the new season, season 7, week 1. And with the new room rules, I've taken some time to look at some different things on Discord, as well as reviewing a couple videos. Like Antiblade put a video out, so that was really helpful. He put in his attack already, and then really going back to some things Doolum talked about and Updog, and so this is going to be a very different approach. I maybe have still too much on offense, but we'll see if that helps me along the way, since I am in D2. So for right now, let's take a look at who I'm matched against. Well, the matchmaking, and this is the matchmaking. So we've seen Agent Zero before I get matched. He's in the matchmaking quite a bit with me, and I don't recognize anybody else. And so I matched against Bulb. I don't know how you say his name for sure, but Bulb, I guess, from Hydra. And he, even though he's 52 mil, he's 3.5 mil STP. So he's going to have a very strong offense. And looking at his arena team, that looks pretty strong, 2.8 mil. So I don't want to take this light or for granted. I've been able to inch on up with my collection power, as I've been trying to put some gear on some tunes, some 18 pieces on some tunes I know I'm going to take in the DD7, as well as leveling off a few more tunes to 100. So it's brought my collection power up more, but my STP is only going up slightly, which I think is still enough to carry me through what I'm going to be facing in the next couple weeks in Cosmic Crucible. So let's take a look at my defense. I decided to go with, I think this is going to be a common defense here in 1, with the Rogue XTX, Extreme X-Men. And what I did is, I know, I may have to double check, but I think I took them all to 100. I know for sure I took Rogue to 100, changed it back to Striker because I have his B5. And I have Nightcrawler and Gambit at 100. So let's just take a quick look at Extreme real quick. And so my Extreme X-Men, I did take them all to 100. So there's as high as I can take them at the moment. And as you can see, I put the 18 pieces on Gambit and Nightcrawler, because at the moment, I think that is who I'm going to kind of stick with for DD7. Mostly because I see this raid team, we're going to be using it for a while. And having those two guys at G19 will probably come in handy as we get new levels on our tunes. Or maybe not new levels on the tunes, I'm sorry, but new levels on the raids. And because Bifrost is my biggest raid team aside from XTX, I'm going to go with Bifrost. I was able to get all of the supporting cast to G17, and I think they're 99, but I got Vol and Beta Ray Bill to 100, so you can see that they're as big as I can make them. I'm trying out something a little different with room 3, and that may change because, like I said, I have a lot on offense, so that may change. But I figure I'd put these X-Men to work because it's all about the taunt gaining your offense up. Sunspot gives offense up. So we'll see if they can just kind of surprise somebody or make them use something a little bit stronger than they planned on to kind of force some different decisions here. But that's the reason to have a pre-taunt in here. And so we'll see how that works out. And since the room rules are similar to what we had a couple seasons back, and I did fairly well with Black Order and Quicksilver, I said, well, let me try Black Order. And the suggestion was to use Vulture. So I'm going to try that. I got my Vulture maxed out. He is got 2 or 3 pieces of G18 on him because I am going to end up taking him into DD7 as well. And so I decided to try Dorm because I'm not using him anywhere else. And I said that may make this a little bit more challenging. And if this room works, then I'd be willing to take my Thanos up to 100 as is just working this experiment here. I decided to take Proxima up to 18 because I had so much skill gear. So we'll see how this works out. And then, of course, Infinity Watch in 5. I haven't touched them. They're still all level 98, which is, still pretty strong. But the goal is I am going to end up taking them to 100. It may be later on this season, but I think that'll happen this season. And then I just figured to try out of time in room 6. Now, maybe as I see the replays, maybe I don't need the full out of time in here. Maybe I can mix match some things and make something a little bit different. But for the moment, I want to try them in 6, see how they do, because I do think they're going to pull a serious counter. And so this is what my opponent has on his defense. Now, after some careful thought, what I think I'm going to go in with in room 1 is Superior 6. We're going to do the Pegasus with APOC. That seems to be the general consensus to go ahead and beat the Bifrost in here. Fortunately for me, his Infinity Watch is small and my War Dogs are huge. So I'm going to go ahead and use my War Dogs on his Infinity Watch. And his room 4 is tricky. So since I was able to build my Cabal, I'm going to go ahead and break up my Masters of Evil, use Cabal with Scroll and Kang. And we're going to see how that works out. And, this Death Seed could be tricky, but my thought is I'm going to go in with a 2-piece Tangle Web, and I'm going to take in JJ and see if JJ can clear this blind. And then I'm going to use Nova and Kestrel in here. We'll see how that works out. And since I have Secret Defenders on offense, for maybe they do need to go on defense, but since I have them on offense, I'm going to use the 4-piece with Quicksilver. And I think that can overcome the speed difference here because I have the 4-piece versus their 3-piece. So let's go in. We'll go in first with, because I'm just curious to see how this Bifrost team will work. And I put in, APOC. We'll put in the Pegasus versus them. So we're taking out Kestrel. We put in APOC. You can see this is basically power-wise a punch across, but I have a pretty strong APOC. So we'll see if this makes the difference. So let's go in and see how we can try to make this work. He does have a G18 Sylvie. So my thought is we're going after Sylvie first. She resisted, so we got to hope we can do something to her because we do want to make sure that she doesn't wreck us. I'm still not seeing us do much damage to her. I mean, as far as like trying to slow her down. Oh, she does have a vulnerable, so let's see what we can do to her again. And I think we're okay now. So now what we'll do, she did hit us anyway. So let's see what happens if APOC gets to go. All right, so it's looking a little bit hectic. All right, we're going to see if we can revive anybody. All right, so he'll be dead for good. And so now we're going to go after Vol. We'll see if we can get Vol out of there for Vol does some serious damage. Okay, so we got Vol stunned. I think we're in good shape. We'll hit him again with the ults. Yeah, so it looks like that's a wrap. So hitting Sylvia is not necessarily the answer, but it didn't hurt us because this was not a punch-up. So here, let's go in and try Cabal. I didn't get a chance to even practice with Cabal, but I'm pretty sure with Kang and Scroll, we'll have a good chance to beat this. So I do have Cabal set this way, but I don't think this will be the team to use here. So we're going to put in Kang, and we're going to put in Scroll, and hopefully this will get it done. We'll see what happens because I know Scroll typically needs 2 heroes, 2 villains, but in this case, I think this will be our best bet. So we're going to go right after Red Hulk as soon as we can. We're hitting with the ult first. Oh my God, it's over. Okay. So, and then Kang. Oh my goodness, that is really something. My goodness. I guess I was worried about nothing. This Cabal team is something else. So that was pretty easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test out the idea of Secret Defenders, the four piece with Quicksilver. So we'll try this out. So we're going to do it like this, and we will see if this gets it done. So this is actually a pretty sizable punch down. So let's see. I want to say in this case, let's just go ahead and hit Black Cat because that's who she usually does hit, and we'll see if that makes a difference. All right, so Rogue went. Let's see if we can get over to Dorm. So we're supposed to have a speed advantage here. I wonder what happened there. All right, so let's see. Quicksilver comes in, and we will do this because we want to get Dorm out of there. Now, I think it'll be a good idea to take care of Morgan, Le Fay. Oh, yeah. So I think we got him. We're going to go in for Black Cat now because she is wrecking us. Oh, my goodness, look at that. My Quicksilver is hurting. So we're going to juice him back up. I was really hoping Photon could do more damage than that, but he has a really strong Secret Defenders here. So we get Robbie out of there first chance we get. All right, come on, Quicksilver. Let's see what you can do. Okie dokie. So now we need to hit him again. Oh my goodness, our Black Cat is dead. So that was a little dicey. I'm not sure if I did the correct sequence on that. Maybe Morgan Le Fay should have gotten hit much later. But it does look like a viable counter. And we'll go in with our Superior 6 here. There's a really big punch down. What could we change him to? So I don't think Skirmisher is in this room, is it? It is Raider and Striker. We're gonna leave Doc Ock as he is. So let's try this time. And then we'll see if we have enough juice to come back and hit him with the ult. All right. Okay, that hurt. Okay, we need our Green Goblin to go. There we go. I think Slayer's going to wreck him. Yeah, he did a lot of damage there. Wonder why Green Goblin is not going still. Okay, that rogue hurt us badly. Okay, that was timely. Alrighty, so let's see what we can get done here. I think we need to get this Nightcrawler out of there. Can't get to him. See what Slayer does. Okay, he didn't kill her. That rogue is a powerhouse. Alright, so Doc Ock did need to stay healer so he could stay alive. And maybe this will do it. Not quite. Now Lizard gets to go. Okie dokie. Wasn't the best, but it got it done with everybody alive. So we're going to go in with our War Dogs here. I think that's my best bet. Okay, so let's go in on Moondragon first. Oh yeah, it'd be kind of easy to get her out of there. We'll hit this. She should be pretty much gone. Get an assist. Okay, there we go. Now we hit Gamora. Well, we'll just hit it like this. Then we'll hit Gamora. Oh my God. Yeah, that orange gear is not helping him here. but it's better than nothing. I mean, if you're gonna do your Infinity Watch, you might as well put them in 3 or 5. Oh, I was not powered up. Wasn't paying attention there. Okay. I'm gonna save that Nebula for last because she likes to dodge and just sink my efficiency. Yeah, I don't even think he has the T4s he needs on this team. So, pretty easy win. And this is an experiment, but we're gonna go in with the Tangle Web, Kestrel, Nova, and we're gonna go in with JJ. Where's A Force? And we'll see. Yeah, there's JJ. We'll see if this how this works. So it's been a long time since I battled against the. Oh wow, that's not good. But we're gonna lead with this alt anyway because we need to speed up on Kestrel or not Kestrel on our Weaver. So we'll still go in and put the blind on them, and then I think we can clear their blind with JJ. Uh, let's do this. Huh, dodged them. How terrible is that? Wow, JJ was actually of no use. They just waited it out. So that's something to keep in mind for next time. So we'll still go ahead and use this. And we'll hit here. We'll see who else she takes out. Oh, nobody. Okay, that was not helpful. All right, so we'll just get rid of him first. And so, okay. I misplayed that pretty badly. All right, so let's do that again. And we'll go ahead and light them up this way. Boy, it's been a long time since I went against Zesty. That's really telling me something. All right, let's see what we can get done. Okie doke. So 5165, that is much lower than I had hoped for. But it is what it is. There was a lot of experimenting here. I did want to try a different approach to taking out this extreme because they're a little bit smaller. I had seen a guy lead with the special from Green Goblin, and that seemed to have worked. But yeah, I'm not sure that was the right move. Especially if I'm doing a punch across or a punch up. So I probably won't try that again. And obviously, APOC does work here. So that's something to keep in mind. I think even when we start doing punch ups, the Pegasus or APOC will be the answer. Of course, this is, we can't really judge much because he had all orange gear on his Infinity Watch. And this was perhaps overkill, but I didn't really need my Massive Evil anywhere else. So it's like, why not try him here? And this is where I probably had a bunch of misplays. This 83.59 is really a low score. And I lost 99, which probably instead of JJ, I probably just should have went with the 3-piece Tangle Web. Would have had a little bit more speed too. Wow. The only one I had left alive was Quicksilver. So this is either not the counter to use on this room or this was totally misplayed, which I really think this was just misplayed. Looking back at the size of his Robbie, that maybe should have been the first target instead of Morgan. So let's see if my opponent attacked. He has not. So what we'll do is we'll wait until tomorrow and see if he gets his attacks in so we can add the score to this one. And we'll just see how it comes out. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So we got the final score in. and it was actually a little bit closer than I thought, even though the score doesn't look like it. But let's just run through the teams I had on defense so you guys can kind of see what happened here. So this is room one, and I think most of you guys have seen this enough times. It's really still playing out the same way. And in comparison to mine, the score, his score is better. And so the quick recap I would say here is I was just trying something leading with the special from Green Goblin. Don't do that. That's not the answer. And so you can see the slight point difference, but it adds up. So he's got, 3 more points. He's got 2 more points to me. But perhaps because, let me see here. And my team is much, much stronger than his. He's doing a punch up, I'm doing a punch down. My score could have been a whole lot better had I just gone in and just done it the regular way that we go about, trying to beat this team. So here he did the same thing as me. He came in. This is just going to be the counter, and you can see the similarities in how this played out. Who did he pull? Well, yeah, he pulled Kestrel. So yeah, he's got Kestrel going. His team 2.5, mine 2.6. So I've got a slightly stronger team. That's basically, in my opinion, why the score is a little bit better. So, but that would be the counter. So you guys just keep that in mind that the counter is APOC with Pegasus pull out Kestrel. Here, I thought this team was interesting to see, so I was just trying out the Red Guardian, but he is so old a tune that he really wasn't the liability there. The liability because this guy went after my X-23, but this was just a great counter for this particular setup, and so this is something to keep in mind. Just going back to this old setup with the two Tangle Web, Eternals, and Emma. And I think I'm going to save that back because this could be a counter for a lot of rooms, or not a lot of rooms, a lot of different teams that could go in here if it's not the Superior Six. So when guys are putting in different X-Men or whatever they're going to think about putting in here, because I think even Updog recommended the Undying. This may work. Even though typically Hela slows them down, it's still Greg's in there. So once Icarus goes, and then of course they're going to be blinded. This could be this could be a really good counter to save. So what I think we'll do is we'll just go in and just show this one real quick, so you guys can get a look. Not because this is a good defense, but so you guys can see the how good an offense this is. And so, I mean, I'm not sure who he targeted, but quite naturally we got a pre-taunt, so you got to figure it was Red Guardian. Now he goes right after my X-23, and I'm not saying that's the move to make, but because the the Red Guardian was dead off the Icarus ult anyway. So whoever he would have gone after, whether it was X-23, who was really the only damage dealer at this time on this team, Red Guardian was the liability for a strong Icarus just to come in and get the double tap, which just totally just wiped out any chance for this team to try to bring down efficiency. And so here, I think I showed this. I was throwing in the dorm, and it made a little bit of a difference. But at the end of the day, he's got an 83-63, so that's still a pretty decent score. He came in really strong with a dorm to go with his Masters of Evil. As you can see, his Kang is ridiculously strong. And so you can just see how this plays out. So clearly Masters of Evil is going to be a good counter for most of what we see in here. Well, I guess if you see something like a Black Order for sure. So my first thought is because they went after Thanos, perhaps, not saying it would have made a huge difference because you see what Kang does, but perhaps if I did not have Dorm and I just went in with Cole, you know, maybe not saying it would have made a much of a difference, but maybe it would have been a better use because I just don't see his score being much higher, and so maybe my Dorm could be a better use somewhere else. And then you see how long it took for the Vulture to even get a turn here, and so it just it this is just a really good counter against this team. Massive Evil with Doom. And so here is my Infinity Watch. I think it's going to be really good to keep a hold of our hive mind. This is different because he's not using Void Knight here, but he still got it done with Vulture and of course Scroll. It's just amazing to me that the efficiency was still brought down to what it is here. His turn bonus is 13. He's at 83.57, which is not a terrible score, but using Scroll, you would think it would be better than this. And so here is the one defense I had that I think got me to win because you got an 83.39. Turn bonus is a 0. So I'm going to show you guys this mostly because of the way this team is able to drag down the efficiency. Now, he doesn't have. I don't know if he has to have a strong Zim here, but something about this team that he put together, maybe it was because he went after the other room so strong with what he had, he didn't have enough. And you'll see how surprisingly how this was drawn out. And so quite naturally, the Void Knight, the thought process is that he's going to really hurt Black Knight. Now I have a 6 red Black Knight, but I think most guys are probably at the point where they have a 6 red Black Knight. If not, guys have a 5 red. But the key that I'm looking at here is how quickly he gets to Starbrand. He gets him out the picture. And then quite naturally, Ghost Rider is the one that has boosted him up. But and then you can tell Ghost Rider is going to be the next one to go because how low he is. But the power that was given to the Black Knight, because you see he's still hanging around, he's back in the green, and then you see the 3-piece is what's surviving, and so this is where it gets drawn out, and as great as Black Knight is, and you see he's taking all the damage. All we need to have take place is for Peggy to get a heal or get the revive going, and then this would have been even worse with this guy's efficiency. But I mean, it's a 0 with the turn bonus, so maybe that's about the best you can ask for. The thing is, you can see here that the Black Knight is about to go, and you have basically a full power cap, and then so that's when Peggy goes. You have a full power cap, and now you have a full power Peggy, and so those two are the ones left that are really dragging us out. And so it just makes you think that this is really a worthwhile team to put in here if you have them decently built, that they can drag out efficiency even with maybe a different team going in. I'm not saying they're going to get them down to a 0, but after as long as it took for this guy to get through my Black Knight, now he's having just a harder time to get through Cap. And I believe I've been back and forth with Cap on whether he should be a fortifier or a healer. And I think what I did is I B5'd him as a fortifier. So we'll check this team to make sure. And then I have Black Knight B5'd as a fortifier. So you can see just what happens here with dragging this out. Now, I think there was only one point where he looked like he was going to lose Hela, and that's when Peggy hit with her ult, but he didn't. And so, of course, that's the key difference there because, Hela stays alive. And so they're able to still whittle down this team. But at the end of the day, the score 83-39 was low enough to give me the overall win for this trial. And so before wrapping this up, I thought it would be interesting just to show you guys. Now, I know most guys are not going to take their out of time to level 100. But as you can see, I do have Cap at a B5 fort. And so it is not making his resistance or focus extremely high from looking at his stats. But as much as guys say Starbrand should come out, I think we got to be mindful of what he brings to the team. So on spawn, apply immunity to self and all out of time allies. Then gain 30% max health, gain 30% damage. Out of time allies gain 30% damage, 30% drain. And then so let's think about this. And then 5% crit. But let's think about this. I have Cap and Black Knight on Fort. And so just as a reminder, Fortifier on B5 gets 40%, is it? Yes, 40% drain. So they get minor defense up on turn, and then for 2 turns, this character has barrier, gain 40% drain. And you can see how many times Cap got barrier. You can see how many times that Black Knight got barrier. So this is pretty huge to have both of them as fortifier. The next question would it be worth taking Peggy to B5 striker? And I think if you're going to be in the war and we see that this team can be useful this season in Cosmic Crucible, and I'm sure a lot of guys are going to say, hey, put them in room 4. You can see the advantage to them being in room 6 as the full team. It could be worth taking her to B5 because had she been a B5 striker, she probably would have gotten rid of Hela. And then if Hela was gone, then it's just a matter of time before Zombie Iron Man and the Zombie Juggernaut would die. And so just as a reminder, we just want to go back and take a look the difference that will be added on for B5 striker. She's already doing a great job of healing the team as a striker, but she's going to gain 10% max health and heal for 50% of the damage dealt, and then she gains 20% damage. And this is as the striker. And so it's just something to keep in mind with what, this would, having her as striker B5 would add to this team. I'm not in a position to take her there because I probably need about another mil of, what is this called? T2 level 5 ions. But it is something I'll consider just because of what is able to happen that I think would give this team that much more sustain in Cosmic Crucible. And so I think as we're going through this entire team, it might be good just to kind of refresh with the passive on Ghost Rider Robbie because of what the room buffs are. And so you see here, bury yourself and all out-of-time allies for 30% of this character's max health. Gain 30% max health. Gain 200% focus. And so, I think overall, if you could probably use your Secret Defenders in there and get similar results because most guys have them built bigger. But I don't know that you necessarily have to have a big out of time to get good results from them in this room. And so that would allow you to use your Secret Defenders either on offense, as I did, and you get much better results, most likely, with them on offense than I did. Or you could use them on defense in another room. And that is what I think I will consider down the line is, should Secret Defenders go in a different room? Can they be of use in a different room? Room 4, room 3. And so those are some things that will come to light as we're moving forward. But right now, my Secret Defenders is going to stay on offense, and we'll experiment to see if New War is going to be a better fifth for them, or if I can still get used with Quicksilver as the fifth for them. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video because it's going to be a really long video. But I think it kind of will help to see the defenses as we go with this season because there's such a big change, and probably a lot of the counters that were suspected to work may not be working. And so tomorrow, what I'll do is just before I get into doing the attacks, we'll jump into 2 or 3 different channels and just kind of look at some of the comments on the Discord channels so you guys can get a feel for what's going on out there as we move into the next set of the next set of attacks. Oh, and then I'll just give you guys a quick look at my defense because I did make a couple changes. And so in room one, what I decided to do was just go ahead and try out some, some key extreme characters in here. This is basically what I used in room six last season because I went ahead and put the X-23 in here, and she did help this team. So it's like, okay, let's just try that out. And I have my Dorm in here. And so I'm going to keep Dorm as striker because we're going to see how this works out with him as striker. The I don't expect this room to do much. It'll probably still get beaten with similar results by a Superior 6. But if it draws a Superior 6, then it's done its job. The only thing I think, if I could afford to do it, would be to take X-23 to level 100. But I'm just not getting that kind of use out of her. And I think I've got her built pretty much pretty big. So not going to do that. But I think the balance is putting this team as it is in room one, and then putting a little bit more of substantial tunes in the room three that are X-Men. So now you have Rogue, Gambit, and as the link, because we got X-Men here, you got you got Colossus in here, who's uncanny as well as extreme, and so that kind of will be a benefit to Magic, who is definitely a benefit to Colossus. And so now you have a chance for a little bit more damage in this room. The safeguard as well from the Magic, and then Rogue having a chance to get off a bit if Colossus gets to taunt after she taunts. So we'll see what this plays out to be tomorrow or the day after when I get attacked, and as well as the change I'm making here in room four is I just don't know that it's worth wasting Dorm in here for a point or two difference going down. If they're going to use Masters of Evil here, I'd let them use it here, and that'll be fine, because if Black Order can pull Masters of Evil, then they've done their job. Even Black Order with Vulture, if that's the threat, then I'll run that for as long as I need to in this room. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode, Trial 1, Season 7, Week 1. And so I got to win, and we'll see if I can get another win tomorrow and try to get a winning season out of this. All right, guys, chat later.